So there is this banger on my R&B mix that Spotify kindly makes for me when I'm just working out or having a walk and I want to listen to some nice R&B music. And this song has been there for a while, been listening to it for a while, and the other day I was like, this has a really cool guitar line. So I went back home, grabbed my guitar and I figured it out by ear, trying to really understand what single notes were played in each and every arpeggio for this tune. Now obviously we are talking about Come Through by H.E.R featuring Chris Brown. It is all based around one guitar riff, one chord progression, although it's heavily produced, so you can hear the acoustic guitar, you can get that acoustic vibe, but there are some other things on top that may distract you from the actual guitar track, and that's why today I want to analyze and demonstrate with you what is going on guitar, having a look at chords, arpeggios, embellishments, different ways to play it, and so on. Now, before getting started, guys, I just want to say that I'm not gonna teach you how to play this song with a capo, okay? Yes, probably by using capo 1, some of these positions may be easier, but you may lose connection with the actual names of the chords, you may lose connection with what's the key and the chord numbers. It may actually make more difficult to analyze the single embellishment and the single note in each of the positions that we're gonna look at. So let's start by saying what's the basic chord progression. Okay, so we are in the key of F minor. The first chord is an F minor 7, okay, which you can play here, but you can also play here, okay, although we're gonna see the actual arpeggio, which is more interesting. Moving then to a D flat major 9, so this chord here, okay, so we're doing, changing on the offbeat number 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, okay. Then we go to a B flat minor 7, so this chord here, possibly minor 9 as we will see with one embellishment, one arpeggio. And then we are going to an E flat major, of which you will more likely play just the root note, okay, but it is an E flat major because we are in the key of F minor, and this is an E flat major. And then we are gonna get to, and this is very important, either an E or a C in the bass, meaning the first time it is an E in the bass, the second time, every other time there is a C in the bass. But the chord is a C7, C7 sharp 5, so a C7 altered, which is the 5-7 coming back to F minor. Now, just before getting started with the actual arpeggios and embellishments for this chord progression, I think it's time to introduce you guys to the sponsor for this video, which is TrueFire. And TrueFire, guys, it's the largest catalog that you can find online for guitar courses. They've been making guitar courses before it was even cool to make a guitar course. And all of my guitar heroes have a course available on TrueFire, possibly even your guitar heroes. For example, I'm a huge fan of Tom Emanuel. I definitely love Tom Emanuel. I watched him live in London less than a year ago, and to my knowledge, TrueFire is the only place where you can get actual teaching from Tommy Emanuel himself. And not just him, there are all styles, all guitarists, all guitar heroes, so you just need to check it out, and I'm sure that you will find the best course for you. So if one of your goals for 2023 is improving on guitar, check out TrueFire, and by using the promo code that you see on screen right now, you will also get a 30% off any course you pick. Or if you love more than one course and you want to get access to all of the courses on their platform, you can choose the all access plan, and that means you can browse literally any course of any style and go from one to another, learn with different instructors, and really elevate your guitar playing in 2023. For all this, just check out the link in the description below. That will give you access to that 30% off that we mentioned, and at no extra cost for you, you will also support this channel. If you love my lessons, if you love this channel, if you're learning something from this channel, by clicking the link in the description below, you will also support my channel and you will get access to the most amazing guitar courses online. Now, that being said, guys, let's have a look at the actual arpeggios for this chord progression. For the F minor 7, it is easier than you may imagine. So we are just playing the note F on the 4th string, fret number 3, and then there is this beautiful, literally beautiful hammer-on pull-off embellishment between C, D flat, back to C, so 1st and 2nd fret of the B string, which is really nice. It gives you a very nice tone for that F minor 7, which touches on the flat 13 and comes back, you know, which is lovely. Also because that flat 13 is the root of the next chord, but that's another story. So this is what is going on the F minor 7. So you can just play it this way, you know, but if you like to place the full F minor chord and then get that hammer on, that's equally fine. Clearly there is another way of playing the F minor 7, which is here. You can start from this root and get the same hammer on pull off on the D string, but if you listen to the record, to me it sounds like the tone is the tone that you get on the second string, like, rather than this or even this. It's more this nice thing. Obviously let the F ring while you get the hammer on, okay? And then you move to that D flat that we mentioned, and we are gonna get the D flat major 9, but the arpeggio goes 5th string and then 4th, 3rd, 4th, and then 2nd, 3rd. Like that. Obviously, guys, everything is going to be tapped out on my Patreon page, so if you click the link in the description below, you get access to the full transcription and the full music theory explanation. So this is for the second chord. I reckon that you can also play it with the pick. I just feel more comfortable doing it finger picking. As long as you play the right strings, you can play it with the pick if you prefer. And then we're gonna move to B flat minor 7, but the B flat minor 7 is gonna be played this way. You first play just the root note on fret 1 of the A string with your first finger, and then there is a slide back and forth, okay, between the 3rd and the 5th fret on the G string, so B flat, C, B flat. And that's why I said that the B flat minor 7 has a B flat minor 9 vibe, because you touch on that note C, which is the 9th, and you get this. Okay, now in the record, I wore my headphones and everything, and I could only hear the root and then this type of little melody. But I think that they may have played the note in between, which is the F on the D string, just to create a richer arpeggio, really. And it's just not so easy to pick up in the record. This is because if you check out any live version, they are actually playing more notes on the arpeggio. So I think a cool way of playing this B flat minor 7 could be this, which I actually prefer, but as I said, in the record I can only hear this. Okay. After this, we go to the last couple of chords, and this is where it becomes really interesting, because the next one, as we said, is an E flat. And you can play the E flat here, you can play the E flat here, that's the same note, same octave. Check out my latest video if you want to know more about how to figure out any note on the fretboard. But there isn't any other note in the record, I mean, on this E flat. Now, the color is an E flat major chord, like this. However, there is literally just an E flat, which then moves to the note E, where many may read, and if you check out other tutorials online, I'm sure that this is the most logical explanation, they may see an E flat, an E diminished 7th happening, you know, which is a passing chord coming then back to F minor. However, I don't think there is very much of an E diminished 7th vibe this time, so we're gonna stay away from diminished 7 chords in this lesson for once, because I think that we are just playing E in the bass, and then the notes A flat or G sharp, I should say, possibly, and then B flat, so... Okay, actually, coming from E flat, we do a pluck of 2 strings and then the B flat separately. And this, to me, is really a C7. A C7 chord, where you get the sharp 5, which is the note G sharp, by doing this, and then B flat, which is the flat 7, so a note of the chord. Obviously, when you do this, you're actually playing, we rarely mention that, so I want to mention this, a C augmented triad, okay? This is a C augmented triad, C, E, G sharp. And you do this as part of a C7 sharp 5. But like we said, the note in the bass is actually E, so you can think of it almost like a first inversion of a C7, because E is obviously the major 3rd, so you're playing a C7, still sharp 5, over E first. And I say this because the second time, as well as any other time, you actually play a C in the bass instead of an E flat in the bass, and then still the same kind of, you know, 2 strings and then B flat on its own, like. So first time you do touching on, you know, kind of like E flat major and then da, da. But then the second time you simply go C, okay, like this, creating that melody, that embellishment. So to me it makes sense to see that the first time you play an E flat, just the root, and then a C7, and the second time you simply play a C7. Obviously the first time the C7 is over E, as we explained. So this concludes what is going on in the record. So you can play F first as, move to D flat major 9, get your arpeggio down, then move to B flat, creating this slide, or if you like my version, doing this slide, which is the same thing, there is just one extra note, and then you get to E flat, or C, okay, depending on whether it's the first or the second time. If you don't like it here, you can go to this E flat and do the same type of, you know, 2 strings and then single B flat, and if you want to play C, it's also here. So it's just up to you whether you prefer this part of the neck and the tone that you get from these 3 strings, or this part of the neck and the tone that you get from these couple of strings, 3 strings possibly. Now, listening to live versions, again, I also heard that because there are more notes going on, the F is probably played, so the first chord, starting in this octave and doing boom boom, 1 octave, and then the usual hammer on, kinda like this, which is also cool to play. Definitely doing the B flat minor 7 this way, and then this or this. Now, however you want to play it, all of these versions will be available as a tab, music notation, music theory explanation as well on my Patreon page, so make sure to check it out at the link in the description below. Again, I encourage you to learn it this way, no capo one, just making sure that you actually follow the chord progression, the actual names of the notes, and all of the embellishments that you can get. It's not too hard, it's not like too many chords. You can practice it, and as I said, if you want to improve on guitar this year, make sure to check out TrueFire that kindly sponsored this video, which is where you can find any kind of course for guitar, and again, the link is in the description below.